FWA is Europe's most exciting wrestling promotion. Be part of the British wrestling revolution by going to www.fwauk.com. Frontier Wrestling Alliance, crossing the frontiers of British wrestling for over a decade.
What a show of honour between two of the best of their generation. And what a night. I have goosebumps running up and down my arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FWA! The following contest set for one fall. It is a semi-final match in the FWA Tag Team Championship Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, the first contest of FWA European Uprising. Introducing first. Coming to the ring at this time, tall combined weight of 35 stone. This is the team of Stixx and Malen.
We are live at the Birmingham NEC for perhaps the most pivotal day in FWA history, in the face of the most sinister agenda the wrestling world has ever seen. Today, the stars of British wrestling stage a European uprising. Dave Bradshaw here with Greg Lambert, and Greg, tonight, finally, after months of dodging and diving, FWA World Heavyweight Champion Martin Stone must give a rematch to Leroy Kincaide.
That's Greg, the truth, Lambert, to you, Bradshaw. And the truth is, here at the NEC in Birmingham, tonight you can keep your conspiracy theories. The only conspiracy theory, the only theory you need to care about is the agenda keeping the World Heavyweight Championship. Martin Stone versus Leroy Kincaide, the biggest match in British wrestling for many years, on the biggest show in the biggest venue, the NEC in Birmingham.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents.
You're looking at Stixx and Malen, one of the top tag teams here in the FWA, getting ready for a semi-final match in our FWA Tag Title Tournament. And in just 5 seconds' time, you will meet their opponents.
Weighing in at a tall combined weight of 28 stone, this is the team of Zack Sabre Jr.
You know, Greg, as powerful and as intimidating as Stixx and Malen are, for my money, there has been no better tag team in the UK or indeed anywhere in Europe over the past couple of years than Marty, Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr., the leaders.
Well, Bradshaw, if that is the case, there's no better time or place to prove it on the biggest show in the history of the FWA. Can you believe the FWA has gone from humble beginnings back in 1999 in Portsmouth to the NEC in Birmingham? A massive indoor arena here, one of the biggest in the country. It's tremendous.
Hundreds of fans here surrounding the ring, as you say, Greg. We are part of the Memorabilia Expo. Over 50,000 fans expected in the NEC this weekend, many of whom are anxiously anticipating the matches we have today, especially that world title match. But this is a match in itself that has been long anticipated ever since both these respective teams won their quarterfinals in relatively convincing fashion. This will go a long way towards deciding who those first tag team champions will be.
Well, that's true. And I mean, you may say that the leaders of the new school have been the most impressive tag team here in the FWA. I beg to differ, as you may expect, Dave. The truth is that Stixx and Malen have been the most impressive tag team here in the FWA, and they should be undefeated, but for that disgraceful 6-on-2 attack that led to their sole loss against Project Ego.
Oh, you want to talk about disgraceful? How about the way Stixx and Malen just jumped the leaders from the start of the match there? Marty Scurll, Stixx ran at him, and Scurll, like a matador, sends the bull raging over the top rope.
I mean, the bell finally rings there. I mean, that you're right, it happened before the match even officially started, but there's a lot at stake here for Stixx and Malen. Not only are they got to try and win the tag team titles, but if they lose, I believe they're suspended.
Yeah, they're due a suspension for some of their actions in recent months, but not wanting to confuse the tag title tournament bracket any further, FWA management have said they can continue to compete for as long as they're still in this tournament. They will be disciplined afterwards. Scurll now and Stixx in the ring. Scurll ducks the clothesline from Stixx. There's a runner from Marty Scurll, a young man from Cambridge. The leaders beating Project Ego, one of the best teams from the north of England, in the quarterfinals. Scurll scooping up Malen and drops him down hard. Follows up with the knee. This is part of why the leaders have been so successful, that constant, relentless offense. You see Scurll just one strike after another.
Well, that's right. I mean, if the leaders can tag in and out and hit these double team moves, it will prevent Stixx and Malen from using their bully boy tactics. It's very difficult to bully when it's 2 against 1.
For those of you keeping score at home, the other two teams still in this tournament are Northern Exposure and Joel Redman and Iestyn Rees of the Agenda. Of course, the latter of those two teams involved in other action tonight, which we'll talk about later. So that second semi-final, I should say, isn't going to happen tonight. But there are another two formidable teams.
And this is, without a doubt, the powerhouse of the team that I like to call the Sheriffs of Nottingham. Why do I call them the Sheriffs of Nottingham? Because they're from Nottingham, and because, like the Sheriff of Nottingham, they are completely ruthless.
Sabre on the middle rope and a spinning enziguri, I should say, to the back of Stixx's head. Sabre goes for the cover and a kick out on 2 by Stixx. If Stixx is the powerhouse of this team, what would you call Malen?
Well, you called him a weasel.
I was going to say, the weasel.
You called him a weasel not too long ago. That was you, Bradshaw.
He does look a bit like one. Come on. Well, speaking of weasel-like tactics, look at Malen now.
The referee has given Stixx a yellow card.
Well, Stixx may think that was worthwhile, because while the referee's back was turned, Malen was choking out Zack Sabre Jr. in the corner there.
FWA rules, though, it's 3 strikes and you're out. And yellow cards and red cards, they count per team member, not for the overall team. So,
ladies and gentlemen, the referee
has
given a yellow card to Malen.
So there you go, that's a perfect example of it.
Well, you know, Stixx and Malen have found themselves, you know, in the past in a situation where one of them's been disqualified and the other one had to fend for himself. So you would think they would know better than to start accruing cards this early on in a contest.
Well, I think the referee's maybe being a little bit overexcited. I mean, it's a big event, I'll give him that. Good to see that Zack Sabre Jr. has finally cut that floppy fringe of his. That was starting to verge on extremely irritating.
What all the kids are doing now, isn't it? I suppose you'd know, it's probably a couple of centuries since you've been a kid, but
some kind of demon barber wandering around the FWA looking at the Rockstar Spud these days as well.
you talk about it being a big event. As much as I'm paying attention to this match, Greg, I can't help but notice that briefcase that's hanging above the ring. We've already talked about the world title match. What about the ladder match? In that briefcase are the rights to the Wonder Kid name, a year-long rivalry between Jonny Storm and Rockstar Spud going to come to a head today in the NEC.
I can't wait for that match, but I'll tell you something though, I've been privy to some advanced information which will no doubt make itself known later on in the evening, but enough about that for the moment. We don't want to give these Truth World exclusives away for free. Let's see whether Zack Sabre Jr. can make a comeback here on Paul Malen.
There's a headline in itself if you've managed to get an exclusive.
He's not a weasel, Paul Malen, he's a winner. That's what he is, Dave, he's a winner. Stixx and Malen are winners. We've seen the critical condition, the move, where they pick their opponents up and drop them on the back of the neck.
Well,
and
the head, on the head.
The back of the neck. And they have ploughed their way through virtually every team here in the FWA. We saw what they did to the Daredevil Dragons. Oh, the Daredevil Dragons we haven't seen much of since, though, have we?
Stixx and Malen in particular actually unleashing a brutal assault on Shane Spiral of the Daredevil Dragons a couple of months back, ripping his ankle to shreds with a metal chain wrapped around the ligament. Another one of those flying kicks from Sabre Jr., who is pretty near to his corner. I'm not sure if he knows where he is in the ring. Stixx is very close to his corner as well. It looks like he's going to make the tag. Sabre could do with doing the same, and he does. In comes Scurll and Malen. And Scurll takes down Malen in. Up again for the dropkick. Marty Scurll, once he gets a head of steam going, is at his most dangerous. That's what you're seeing here. Chop across the chest. Scurll is going to one more for good luck. Two more. He's just really unloading on the Weasel.
That's the winner, Dave, the winner.
Sorry.
I'll give you that, though. Very crisp chops from Scurll and a beautiful, almost a neck breaker style of move. Almost like an RKO, driving Paul Malen into the mat. Not enough to get the three, though.
This one dissolving into a bit of a fight between Malen and Scurll. Oh, but Scurll turns it around, rolls him up, got the shoulders down, only gets two, and well, the leaders were just half a second away from advancing to the finals of the tag title tournament. In comes Stixx now. Scurll again defending himself. It's not the first time in the match that Scurll's speed has been able to outwit Stixx. Then you're seeing what Stixx's strength is. That boot to the face. Stixx can cut you off in an instant. There really are very few men as powerful as this anywhere in the world of wrestling.
See, I don't think the strategy from the leaders of the new school is particularly sound. They're using a lot of strikes. We saw before Marty Scurll tried to pin Malen by using his body weight. He's not going to be able to do that. He's massively outweighed by Stixx and Malen. What we need to see is the armbar.
The cross arm breaker. So many of Zack Sabre Jr.'s opponents have tapped out to this very move, and if Stixx can't get to the ropes, he'll have to do the exact same thing.
Now that's sound strategy. Just about to say, we need to see the major weapon in Zack Sabre Jr.'s arsenal, the one that made Joey Hayes tap out, the cross arm breaker. But we've seen this Stixx do this before as well. Power out of it. Oh, and he's going to set it up into the critical condition.
Oh, no,
yes!
Oh, no. Good God, Sabre dropped on his head. I don't care what you say. That was his head. The critical condition. It's got to have left him concussed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has given a red card to Malen.
But that's only 2 strikes, Dave, in the FWA. 3 strikes and you're out. So Malen is still in this match. So I think that was sound strategy.
Explain to me this. What's the card for? Now, if the pile driver is banned because it drops someone on the head, then how can the referee only give a single card for the critical condition, which clearly dropped someone on the head?
He shouldn't have given a card at all.
The referee has given Marty Scurll a yellow card for not leaving the ring.
Well, Scurll is well within his rights to protect his tag partner. Look at, I mean, Sabre's out cold. Wouldn't you be? His skull just bounced off the canvas.
I can only think that the card was given for double teaming, certainly not for the legality of the move, of which there is nothing wrong with, if that makes sense.
Oh, Malen picks up Scurll. Looks like they're going for maybe an inverse. Oh, they thought they were maybe going for a critical condition, but instead drops Scurll on his front.
Like a reverse suplex into a flapjack type of move there. Very innovative indeed. So that's the thing about Stixx and Malen. They're not just bruisers, they can wrestle. They're thinking monsters is what they are, not weasels.
Weasels are very clever creatures. I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, you used it in a disrespectful tone, though.
You know, this is what I don't like about this situation with these guys being allowed to do this move. Quite apart from the danger that it puts their opponents in medically, you're now left with a situation where those two effectively cheated, did Stixx and Malen.
No, they didn't.
And yet it's Scurll who's left in a 2-on-1 situation. How fair is that? Ridiculous.
I would like to see Stixx and Malen doing more to be ruthless, though, like I said before, and capitalise on this 2-on-1 situation they've engineered.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but Scurll isn't letting, and Scurll showing time and time again what resilience he has, but well, that may have knocked a little bit out of him. Just a matter of time. Malen, you can hear, is very aware of the urgency of the situation, screaming at Stixx, "We got to do this, we got to do this."
I think they're risking disqualification again from a double team. They see they're well in over the 5 seconds. I think that's what Chris Roberts is concerned about, but they will take that sacrifice in order to win the match. Malen is definitely flirting with disqualification here.
Well, Sabre Jr. has been completely out cold, and now Malen is... Well, Sabre Jr. is not the legal man.
It's taking one for the team. That's
He's
what it is.
completely defenceless. I don't think he has any idea where he is.
It's the wrestling equivalent of the professional foul in football. Sometimes you've got to go down to 10 men in order for the greater good of your team. Give away a penalty rather than a certain goal. That's basically what they're doing here.
Going for the critical condition again, and Scurll makes the save. He may not have just saved the match, but possibly saved his tag partner's career.
That was an incredible super kick as well by Marty Scurll on Stixx. Knocked him clean out of the ring. That takes some doing.
Scurll still trying to fight back. He has had to contest large portions of this match on his own.
But Zack Sabre Jr. is still down. He's still groggy, Dave. Scurll is still fighting solo here.
You see Sabre is slowly coming around. He's obviously trying to continue the match despite everything his body is telling him to the contrary.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
the see you later from the leaders. No, Stixx grabs the leg of Sabre Jr. and goes crotch first into that steel ring post.
The referee has given a red card to Stixx.
2 strikes on both sides.
Scurll!
Oh, what a somersault plancher through the ropes!
Scurll between the top and middle ropes takes out the heavyweight House of Pain. But has he taken himself out as well? If we're down to 1-on-1, Malen and Zack Sabre Jr., it's going to be no contest because Sabre Jr. is barely conscious.
Stixx and Malen have used up all their cards now. One more transgression, and one of them will be disqualified. If they both cheat, they could both be disqualified and get eliminated from the tournament. It's precarious now.
Well, hang on.
Is Malen going to do? He's going to do the professional foul again, though. This is what we're seeing.
This just proves this guy is more interested in hurting his opponent than he is about winning the match.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He knows if he knocks Sabre out with the chain, he gets disqualified. Stixx rolls in and gets the pin. They advance. It's great strategy.
Sabre again! Sabre!
Oh, no!
Cross arm breaker on Malen! Stixx is trying to make the save, and Malen taps! Malen taps!
I don't believe it!
The leaders of the new school have advanced to the finals of the tag title tournament!
Of the match, and advancing to the finals of the FWA Tag Team Championship Tournament, the team of Zack Sabre Jr., Marty Scurll, the leaders of the new school!
What an absolutely unbelievable will to win, refusal to die on the part of Zack Sabre Jr. to come from nowhere when everyone thought he was down and out, and to force a submission from Paul Malen that sends the leaders into the finals.
Well, I thought that Stixx and Malen had their strategy just about spot on. But I tell you what, they reckon without the recuperative powers of Marty Scurll, he won that match on his own.
Well, hang on, the match is over now.
That.
Sorry, Greg, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Stixx is just continuing to beat on Scurll after the match.
Well, they're suspended anyway, aren't they? So why not?
Well, we can always extend the suspension. I hope that's what FWA management might do. Now what? Again?
Watch this closely. Back of the neck, no doubt.
What, not even in the context of a match now, and yet you're still defending it? How do you possibly?
You don't understand geometry, Dave. I was watching the trajectory of the head, and it's clearly landing. It's not going straight down, he's landing at an angle. Oh, now, wait a minute. Malen's got the chain. Like you said before, that caused no end of damage to Shane Spiral's ankle. He had to have surgery. Oh, and Zack Sabre Jr. is already groggy from the critical condition.
Yeah,
and now he's got a spinal trauma.
Why are you laughing? Why are you possibly laughing?
Sorry, I was just clearing my throat. It's quite musky in the air here in this NEC.
Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll using the last ounces of energy they had to win that match, forcing that submission from Malen, and Stixx and Malen apparently... No, come on!
Marty Scurll, actually, he's not moving. He's not moving at all.
No. Can we get someone out here? Sorry, am I the only person who's seeing this? There must be somebody backstage watching a monitor, for pity's sake. Marty Scurll is being lifted up again. These two talk about putting people on the critical list. They may have just done that permanently. Goodness.
That's the third.
What are they? I don't understand. I literally don't understand.
Well, I understand perfectly, Dave. I mean, it's the NEC Birmingham. It's FWA European Uprising. Stixx and Malen have just been eliminated from the tag title tournament. Leaders of a new school are through to the final. They're not happy. Would you be happy in those circumstances?
No, I wouldn't try and cripple someone because I lost a match.
Well, you don't have the capability. Stixx and Malen do. And like I said, they are probably suspended, so that was kind of like closing the door after the stable horse has bolted. But on the way out, it ran over the leaders of the new school.
Well, Stixx and Malen taking the concept of a sore loser to a whole new level here. Sabre Jr. with some assistance is at least walking out of here, but as you said, Greg, Marty Scurll has not moved.
Not moved at all.
Well, the leaders of the new school are into the finals of the tag title tournament, but at what cost? And now people come out.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we have a very special guest here at FWA European Uprising. He was scheduled to wrestle today, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Nevertheless, he is one of the most well-known wrestlers on the FWA roster. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, the Rockstar Spud!
Stevie Owen just say he's not wrestling.
It sounds like it. We know that Rockstar Spud's had some neck trouble. I don't have on my schedule that he's coming out here now. There's his security guard.
I told you, Dave. Truth World exclusive.
Sorry, you can't claim it as an exclusive when someone else has just announced it. Not how journalism actually works. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. I'm certainly not expecting Spud out here, and according to Stevie Aaron, he's not going to compete, but based on what the comments we heard from Rockstar Spud a few weeks ago, he was absolutely determined to take part in that ladder match and claim what he believes is rightfully his. That Wonder Kid name, the contract for which is currently hanging precariously above the ring. Very solemn looking entourage.
Mel doesn't look happy. If he's not wrestling, then that's her meal to get out the window.
Well, I mean, you know, Spud is in his ring gear, or at least his concert gear. The two are much the same.
Maybe Stevie Aaron got it wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
Definitely a subdued Rockstar Spud here. We're yet to hear any confirmation in our headsets here about this apparent
Birmingham
forfeit.
NEC Rockstar Spud is in the building!
He's still got his vocal cords.
This is his hometown crowd as well, isn't it, Dave? Rock City, Birmingham.
And yes, I may be in the building, but bad news, I'm afraid. Last November, I suffered a neck injury. Yes, over the last year, I have been carrying on wrestling. You've all seen me up and down this country, and I've been raising hell and rocking and rolling. But I'm afraid to tell you that tonight I will not be performing in the ladder match for the Wonder Kid name. Reason being is, when you come to a venue like the NEC, and in your hometown in Birmingham, this was possibly the biggest night, one of the only nights I've been dreaming of all my life, to perform here in the NEC. Some of the biggest stars in the whole world have performed here at the NEC. And when athletes perform here, they perform certain medical checks. They have to make sure all talent is ready to perform at 100%. And that is why I will not be performing in the ladder match tonight. The doctors have said I'm not at 100% to perform, and believe me, and this is coming from the heart right now, I would rather perform at 100% for you people that come out here painkillered out of my face and giving 60%, 20%, 30%. I want to give 110% for my crowd here in Birmingham. All I can tell you is, there will still be a ladder match here tonight. And I have found a replacement, a suitable replacement. He may not be the Rockstar Spud, but if there was any man that was close to the Rockstar Spud, it will be the man replacing me this evening. And I want you to give him and everyone here at the FWA 110% reactions. I want to hear a cheer, I want to hear a boo. I want you to give everything you got for the guys here today, because this is the biggest show in British wrestling, FWA's European Uprising. What I will promise you though is, the Rockstar Spud is still here. And as a man who loves performing, who's to say I won't be performing a #1 song here tonight? So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, enjoy the show. I will not be performing. Johnny Storm, you did this to me, Johnny. Don't think you've got away. It may not be tonight. It might be tomorrow. It might be in 3 years' time. It might be in 3 months' time. Johnny Storm, listen to me. On my father's grave, on my mother's grave, on the graves of my children's grave, I am going to be, one day, the Wonder Kid of the FWA.
You know, Rockstar Spud isn't necessarily the most sympathetic of characters, Greg, but there was something exceptionally poignant there. When he's standing underneath that briefcase, reaching up inches away from something that he's made his career's mission to get, and yet saying that he's unable to compete in front of his hometown crowd in the match of his career. For the first time ever, hand on heart, I can tell you I just felt sorry for Rockstar Spud.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dave. You know, I may have criticised the Rockstar last time out when I thought he showed an element of weakness. And who knows, maybe the fact he may have gone a little soft may have exacerbated that his physical condition and left him in a position where he can't wrestle tonight. There's no doubt about it though, he wants to wrestle tonight. He's been dragged kicking and screaming out of this match by FWA management. He's devastated, he's absolutely devastated.
But it seems almost inappropriate to bring it up at the moment, but the other big headline coming out of what we just heard from Rockstar Spud is that he said there will still be a ladder match tonight and he's found a replacement for himself. Who on earth is that going to be?
Ah, well, Dave, privy sources, outside information, Truth World exclusive. All will be revealed later.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest set for one fall. It is a grudge match. Introducing first. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring at this time with the Bangra Knights. He weighs in at 12 stone. From Bollywood, this is the Bollywood Dream, Singh.
Jai Ho, Birmingham, the Bollywood Dream, and the Bangra Knights. That is the director with the megaphone. And the followers of the Bollywood Dream, Darryl Anwar, Adil Khan, they are here in the Midlands, in Birmingham, to finish El Ligero.
And now introducing the opponent.
The question is, Greg, what kind of El Ligero are we going to get? We haven't seen him since his eye was injured by RJ Singh. I suppose we're about to find out. Well, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, Mexico, weighing in 11 stone, this is the Mexican sensation, El Ligero!
Well, it's great to see El Ligero back out here, but I do fear, based on the fact that he does have that patch over his right eye, that maybe the worst rumours are true. You saw RJ Singh at Hope and Glory stabbing El Ligero, quite honestly, in the eye. And since then we haven't heard from him, but well, there has been rumours that he had lost some element of his vision. Looks like that may well be the case. Here we go, I'll Sing, yeah. Not afraid to jump El Ligero, even though the guy has his vision impaired. That kind of tells you instantly what kind of man we're dealing with.
Looking at that high cross body from El Ligero right off the bat, his vision can't be that bad. That was sensational.
I said the rivalry between Rockstar Spud and Jonny Storm has gone on for a year. This one's gone on for well over a year as well. El Ligero and RJ Singh first coming to blows when Ligero came back from an injury at New Frontiers in August last year. He was going to supposedly speak in English for the first time, and RJ Singh came out and just, honestly, verbally ripped him a new one, for want of a better phrase. Said he lacked originality. Said that without his trademark mask with those horns, he would be nothing, and he made it his mission to deface that horn, those horns, that heritage, that mask of El Ligero.
I have a theory here. I think El Ligero's trying to win this one quick. Possibly because, like you say, his vision is impaired. In a long match, having one eye is going to cause him a problem.
I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages for El Ligero here, quite apart from the vision. He's got to deal with all these idiots on the outside, part of the entourage. They are.
The Knights is what they are. Singh is king, and they are the Bangra Knights.
Yeah, they're Knights.
His Knights.
Yeah, they're Knights, and he's a film
They're the
star.
King's Knights. Of course he's a film star. You know, the reason why this feud has raged on for years and years and years, I mean years, I mean it started in my promotion in the XWA back in 2007, it continued here in the FWA in 2009. I'll tell you exactly why, and why this match is so important. Both these guys want to be recognised as the #1 international star in British wrestling because of the marketability that comes with that, the endorsements, you know, the personal appearances, you know, and all around the world as well. You know, Singh from India, El Ligero from Mexico. That is why these two guys keep butting heads, you know. And I personally, possibly RJ Singh did. It wasn't an accident. Maybe he did really mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
what's happening here?
has given RJ Singh a yellow card for a punch in the face.
See what I mean? Singh willing to break the rules, you know. And as I was saying, maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe Singh did really mean to stab him in the eye because he wants to take El Ligero out. You know, he wants to take away his originality, but so RJ Singh can have all those endorsements. So he can be the poster boy.
You're condoning it. You're saying as long as he had a reason to do it.
I'm not condoning it. I'm just stating fact. Well, the truth.
Condemn it then.
The whole.
Condemn it.
And nothing but.
Go on, right here. Biggest show in FWA history. You've got a platform to give your opinion. Condemn what happened.
What's El Ligero's favourite Queen song? One Vision.
The character of Greg Lambert in one single sentence. You just heard it. The other thing I was going to say before I was interrupted, quite apart from the impaired vision and the people on the outside he has to deal with, is I think El Ligero has to keep his emotions in check here. You saw on his way out, he was holding that mask that had the horns sawed off of it. Almost a year ago now that was, at Hot Wired.
That was to take away his originality, take away half the mask, so he couldn't make the personal appearances. Without his mask, El Ligero's nothing.
Well, but the point is the fact that you know, it shows how sacred and how important and symbolic the mask is to El Ligero, that he's kept that for a year and has brought it out with him here to the Birmingham NEC to remind him of exactly what kind of revenge he is after against RJ Singh.
Got an RJ sucks chant here from the disrespectful brain-dead proletariat of Birmingham.
Not disrespectful, it's observant. Ligero now holding his eye. That eye patch is unattached. I didn't see how that happened, actually. Problem now is he's having to use one of his hands to shield his eye, so he's effectively one-handed as well as one-eyed.
You know, earlier today at the NEC here at Memorabilia, oh, look at that, that's in the eye as well. We saw Darth Vader wandering around with the Stormtroopers. We've got stars of TV, stars of the silver screen, stars of Star Trek, but do you know the person who was getting the most attention? Who most of the fans wanted the autograph from?
The midget from Willow?
RJ Singh, that's who.
What fans?
There's a big Bollywood following in Birmingham.
Yeah, and he brought all of them to the ring with him, look.
Unfortunately, El Ligero, he couldn't get the same amount of attention from Memorabilia because he couldn't see where he was going. He took a wrong turn and ended up at the Supreme Catch
This is
Show.
hilarious to you, isn't it?
What?
This is really funny to you. That the guy's probably been permanently blinded because of the vindictiveness of this delusional so-called Bollywood star.
I've seen El Ligero disrespect RJ Singh on many, many occasions. Like the time he was about to show the footage of his latest Bollywood film. What happens? El Ligero's music hits.
Yeah, just 2 months after RJ Singh had interrupted El Ligero. Fair is fair.
And what about what happened? El Ligero costing RJ Singh his place in the flyweight tournament. You saw that with the megaphone.
Again, after
El
RJ...
Ligero didn't see it, but you saw it, surely.
After RJ Singh had sawed those horns off, which is a completely different level of attack. I mean, it means everything to El Ligero, does that mask.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has given RJ Singh a red card for raking the eyes.
He's on the brink. 3 strikes and you're out in the FWA. Yellow, red, and then you're sent off. That's how it works. Singh's got to be careful.
I just wonder, in this particular situation, maybe Singh really doesn't care if he wins. This is a grudge match. You know, it's been his mission for, as we say, over a year to just deform El Ligero. He has a chance to maybe finish him here.
Oh, amazing.
But the chance may be ebbing away. There's a super kick from nowhere. If El Ligero can crawl across, he could get the win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bradshaw, they say in the kingdom of the blind man, the one-eyed man is king. RJ Singh says he's king, but if El Ligero could just summon up some strength here, maybe hit the C4L, maybe he could be king for a day.
Singh and Ligero at opposite corners of the ring, both fighting to their feet. as this 15-month grudge comes to a head in the Birmingham NEC. Ligero, the boot to the face of Singh.
What a boot.
Singh is down.
Ligero's losing his bearings, though. As I said, the longer the match goes, the more that impaired vision, the more the pain in that eye is going to affect him.
Ligero says he's going to the top. He's put RJ Singh in place. Singh is still moving. Ligero's going to have to be quick, and it looks like he's struggling to get up there. Here comes Singh, and there's a chop across the chest.
What a great, great wrestler RJ Singh is. This man never knows when he's beaten. What resilience and endurance. And look what he's doing here, he'll even take risks. This is the biggest show in British wrestling for many a year, and RJ Singh and El Ligero are on the top rope here in the NEC.
Singh is trying for a superplex on El Ligero. And well, Ligero trips him up. May have saved himself at least temporarily. Both men still in a very precarious position. Oh, now Singh in an exceptionally precarious position, hanging upside down. His left foot looks like it's caught underneath the top rope. What is Ligero doing?
Who's going to win this, Dave? Will this war never end?
May end right here.
RJ Singh! Oh, what a double stomp!
Stomp across the chest of RJ Singh into that black heart. Ligero is trying to release Singh. It's no good for Ligero to have Singh caught up there. He can't pin him there. He's going for the pin now. Got the leg hook, and he could end it.
Tres. No,
Did he?
not quite.
No.
Not quite, Uno dos tres.
That was close, though. Now, both these men were responsible.
Listen to these fans, Bradshaw.
Well, of course they're behind El Ligero. RJ Singh is one of the most instantly dislikable people you could hope to meet. You see him dropping Ligero's face on his knee. I think he may have gone eye first.
Yep, Ligero took a swing. He couldn't see where he was throwing. But look at him fight back. The guts of El Ligero. I'll give him credit for that. But look at that for a move. Downward spiral. And Ligero's career is on a downward spiral. Oh!
No, it's not. No, it's not. Ligero kicks out. I was going to say both these men were responsible in large part for eliminating each other from the flyweight title tournament earlier this year. But this isn't about championship gold. This is far, far more personal. I know that sounds like a cliche, but if you've seen what's been going on between these two this year, you will understand just how badly both of these men want this.
It is deeply, deeply personal. RJ Singh has got a great opportunity here to get El Ligero out of his life, out of his hair, out of his career, out of British wrestling for good with Sweet Bollywood Dreams. No!
Kick across the head from El Ligero. The Bollywood Dreams failed, and Ligero beats Singh. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
That's what I'm talking about, the endurance, the resilience of the Bollywood Dream. You could go on all about his character, you can go on all about the entourage at ringside, but you cannot argue with the fact this man is a competitor.
He was the first flyweight champion in FWA history, was Singh, back when he was known as Ross Jordan, before he took a few hits to the head and decided he was a film star. Ligero missing from the top rope. Oh no, Singh.
Here we go. It's the move we saw. We've seen it before.
Well, this is the move.
The camel clutch.
The move that Ligero was in when he had his horn sawed off a year ago. RJ Singh just likes to torture people with that camel clutch.
I don't think Ligero can go on much longer. The pain in his eye must be excruciating, and now in his neck and lower back as well.
Certainly an uphill battle for El Ligero from the very first moment of this contest. And in normal conditions, you've got to think he wouldn't compete, but Ligero just turning around, getting his knees in the way. That's the only way he could break his way free. Here comes Ligero! Oh, Ligero!
All of them!
Ligero takes out not just RJ Singh, but two of that ridiculous entourage as well.
That was on sheer instinct, Bradshaw. He can't have possibly been able to see where he was going. This Mexican sensation must have inbuilt radar.
What bravery as well for El Ligero with one eye to still fly across the ring and leap over the top rope.
Oh, but wait, Dave, look. My referee Mike Fitzgerald is counting. He's up to 7.
If he gets to 10, this is going to be a double count out.
That's right. But look at Ligero. Oh, God, get LJ back in the ring. You're joking. I don't believe it, Bradshaw! Ligero beat the count!
El Ligero just beat RJ Singh! What bunch of idiots, the three stooges over there couldn't even get their guy back in the ring.
The winner of the match as a result of a count out, El Ligero!
Greg not just beaten, but humiliated, outsmarted, and everything else as well. El Ligero flying over the top, takes out RJ Singh, and finally, on the biggest stage in the FWA's history, has surely settled this grudge.
Well, I don't think he's proved anything. I mean, okay, today at the NEC in Birmingham, European Uprising, he's proved his game, he's proved his heart, beating RJ Singh with one eye, but he didn't pin RJ Singh, he didn't make him submit. He just beat him in a foot race back into the ring because of the ineptitude of the Bangor Knights.
Well, Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there arguing with each other about whose fault it is, but the fact of the matter is this: El Ligero leapt over the top, took out all of the Bangor Knights and the Bollywood Dream himself, and then one of the most courageous displays, the most courageous comebacks from injury perhaps we've ever seen here in the FWA. El Ligero has conquered his demons and beaten RJ Singh. Heartwarming moment, I think. El Ligero still clearly in pain with that eye injury, but talk about finding that little bit of extra something. That's what he's done here this afternoon in the NEC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following, it is a six-man tag team match. This is the Agenda versus the Resistance. It is set for one fall. Introducing first. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, representing the Resistance. Total combined weight of 38 stone. This is the team of Bubblegum. Nick Riley and Shaw Samuels.
Well, in this ongoing war between the Resistance and the Agenda, we've seen many six-man, even eight-man tags in the past few months.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Resistance.
Stevie Aaron again introducing the Resistance, but what a team the Resistance has put out tonight. Arguably the Rookie of the Year, Nick Riley, or certainly one of the best, and then you got Shaw Samuels at East
Ladies
London.
Ladies and gentlemen, their opponents
East London
have
star.
their own agenda.
And then, of course, the return of a man we thought had retired, Bubblegum.
Be quiet, Bradshaw, the Agenda's coming to the ring.
Resistance is futile.
Total combined weight, 55.5 stone. They are coming to the ring with Mr. Gilligan Jordan. This is the team of Iestyn, Rees, Redman, and they are being led by the human hit machine, Dave Moralez. They are the Agenda.
Well, it just got a couple of degrees colder in here. These three, Redman, Rees, Moralez, almost hypnotized into following this agenda. Which, well, we did think it was being led by FWA World Heavyweight Champion Martin Stone, but in recent months, several people alluding to the fact that no one seems to know just how high up the wrestling hierarchy this agenda stretches. Another question as well, Greg. Why is Gilligan Gordon back out here? We thought we'd seen the last of him here in the FWA, but yet he's here again, leading the troops in the absence of Martin Stone.
Clearly Gilligan Gordon has managed to reacquire his manager's license here in the FWA. But we did see him briefly at Hope and Glory. He was sat in that chair that was reserved for Robbie Brookside, at least for a short time.
I assumed he'd bought a ticket and just couldn't read. The seat was reserved.
But then he disappeared. Mysteriously.
It's futile.
Like a lot of these things that involve the agenda. A lot of mystery, Dave.
Never mind mystery, there's a lot of history here between these 6 men, regardless of that, the ongoing feud, the wider war between the Resistance and the agenda. You've got so much going on. Just recently at the Expo, Rees and Redman taking out Shah Samuel's best friend and tag team partner, Terry Frazier. Frazier suffering some serious damage to his upper spine. May not be able to compete again.
Now, I hope you're actually going to do your job today, Bradshaw, and call this wrestling match instead of infecting the young minds watching this DVD and watching FWA Frontline on FWAUK.com with your X-Files inspired crop circle conspiracy theory.
Look, we've been through this 100 times. I'm going to say it one more time tonight, and then I'm going to leave it at that.
I do hope so.
Drew McDonald, employed as the European talent scout for the biggest wrestling company in the world, came out here on this stage at Hope and Glory and said that the agenda goes far higher than anyone in the FWA realises.
Yes.
We've had TNA star Nick Aldis. He's been out here as well, doing the exact same thing. What on earth are you trying to say when you're telling me that this is some kind of paranoid conspiracy theory? Indeed. Redman with the
I thought you were
shoulder
going to be
block.
quiet now and just talk about the match. Talk about the dominance of Joel Redman, Iestyn Rees, Human Hate Machine, Dave Moralez. Talk about how stupid Bubblegum is for making a comeback. I thought he'd taken a step away from British wrestling after all the poundings that he'd taken. Some from the hands of the agenda, particularly Dave Moralez.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get on to next. Bubblegum has had a real history with both of these guys as well. He had a match against Joel Redman. He beat him by count out. He beat Dave Moralez at New Frontiers in August 2009 in the qualifying round for the FWA World Championship Tournament. Beat him by pinfall using that crossbody block, and Moralez was then suspended for 6 months. An overhead suplex from powerful Redman.
I absolutely love Joel Redman. I think this man is an absolute machine. Alex Shane, the FWA's head of content, he now knows what kind of a cyborg, a wrestling cyborg Joel Redman is, after he kicked him in the head, put him in the hospital at the London MCM Expo on Halloween.
Riley using that cat-like agility. As Redman with a German suplex.
And I can't believe Nick Riley's, similar to Bubblegum. You've got to question the nous of these young men. Brave, certainly, like El Ligero, but, the fine line between bravery and foolishness. Did you see the beating that Martin Stone gave to Nick Riley?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago at the Expo.
You were there in person.
Oh, I saw it.
Unfortunately, had other business to attend to. But I watched it on Frontline, and it was a massacre.
Couldn't afford the bus fare, you mean? It was certainly a beating, although Riley did come very, very close to getting the biggest win of his career that day against the World Heavyweight Champion. In the end, Stone beating him with that London Bridge DDT.
Look at the skill. Not only can Redman kick you in the head and give you a concussion, but he can apply a gory special expertly, as he is doing right now.
Absolutely.
This man would not be out of place in the world's largest wrestling company. And when Drew McDonald speaks of the agenda going higher, what he means is Joel Redman getting himself a tryout recently for the world's largest wrestling company. That's what he speaks of. And no doubt Moralez has already been to America. Iestyn Rees, Mr. Smooth, Mr. Suave, the James Bond of British wrestling. Look at the guy he's put together. He's got all the attributes you need to make a success over the pond. They won't be far behind.
Oh, Samuels! Well, Samuels was getting frustrated by being kind of out-wrestled in the early going by Redman there, and then a closed fist may have
knocked Redman out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has given Shah Samuels a yellow card.
And you don't get in the world's largest wrestling company by wearing a black and yellow scarf around your neck, Samuels. Well, at least, you know, black and yellow maybe in the 80s with a certain tag team, but not anymore. Won't cut it anymore. Not in the 21st century. I don't care how fired up Samuels is because of what happened to his tag partner, Terry Frazier. I don't care how much he's been eating the jellied eels and tinkling the ivories round the old Joanna and up the apples and pears. It's not going to help him against the human hate machine.
Now, rhyming slang sounds a lot less endearing when it comes from your mouth. Shah Samuels somehow makes it sound kind of like proper language. You just sounded like an absolute load of nonsense. Moralez was caught by Samuels, but Samuels couldn't hold him.
I mean, can you not see the influence, the fact that the agenda mix in high circles with people like Drew McDonald, like Magnus? You know, you can see how they're so much more controlled in what they do, whereas Samuels, Bubblegum, Riley, they let their hearts rule their heads. That's what the resistance is all about. They need to think. You know, they need to think. Do they really think that there's going to be a future?
Greg, look who's just been tagged in. Look who has just been tagged in. Bubblegum, making his return. Yes. Not just that, but against the man who injured his abdominals and possibly put him out of the game for good. That's what we had thought. But Bubblegum is back. Another show of bravery we saw from Ligero earlier, but for Bubblegum to return to the FWA, and again, another man facing his demons in a sense here, trying to conquer this beast, the monstrous Moralez. Blind tag from Rees. I don't think Bubblegum has seen that yet. Saw the ring shake with the force with which Moralez just dropped Bubblegum and followed up by a big boot from Rees.
These people, you know, Dave Moralez, the mad, bad Brummie from the Black Country, the Black Heart from the Black Country, they should be getting behind him. It's, you know, West Bromwich he's from, isn't it? It's just down the road. Where's the Moralez fans here in the NEC today?
Yeah, he hasn't had quite the reception that other hometown boy rockstar Spud got, did he? Maybe that tells him something. Rees with that slow, methodical pace, just slowly taking apart Bubblegum.
Oh, he's licensed to thrill, is Iestyn Rees, the James Bond of British wrestling.
You know, in hindsight, I didn't think of it at the time, but it was almost inevitable when Shah Samuels issued that rallying cry for people to help him team up against the agenda today at European Uprising, that Bubblegum would answer the call. I just wonder if he has fully recovered. You know, if it's only a few months since he thought his injury was serious enough to take him out of commission for a long while. And
you can't just go, you know, come back into the wrestling ring into a big match against battle-hardened warriors like Rees, Redman and Moralez. This is going to be over. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, he did that on memory there. I mean, Bubblegum's been sat at home with his new little baby boy. You know, he's been, you know, playing with teddy bears and things, and he wants to come straight back in here into whether, you know, into the war zone. It's insanity, Dave.
Well, Hubba
Have you
Bubbaville.
seen what the agenda are capable of? You've seen it with your own eyes. See what they did to Alex Shane.
You finished? Hubba Bubbaville, this certainly isn't, is what I was going to say, but yes, they have done some very, very bad things, but that's why people like Shah Samuels are trying to stand up to them. Shah Samuels refusing to accept that this agenda is inevitable. And all credit to both Bubblegum and Nick Riley for standing alongside him here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has given Bubblegum a yellow card for using the fist.
Referee Roberts certainly being very stringent on the rules about the closed fist today. I think Bubblegum just trying to defend himself there.
You know, sometimes, you know, the phrase is you can't see the wood through the trees, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you know what I find?
Sometimes you need to.
What I find amazing.
Sometimes you need to see the wood through the trees.
What I find amazing is that Bubblegum made the semi-finals of that World Heavyweight Championship tournament, finished in February at a British Uproar, and on the way he beat Moralez and Redman. And when you see just how systematic, just how powerful, quite honestly, those two are, you realise what an incredible feat that was.
Yeah, but that was when he didn't have ring rust against him, Dave. He's certainly suffering from that this evening. I mean, how many months has he been out of the ring? 6?
Yeah, about half a year now. He's also not helping his cause, I don't think, by being in the the opposition corner. He really needs to stop himself from being isolated.
I just love everything about Rees, Redman and Moralez. They look like professional wrestlers should look. They wrestle methodically, but yet with skill and focus, like professional wrestlers should. They are a credit to this sceptred isle, Dave, these young men, and they deserve more credit, and they deserve the credit that is coming to them on the other side of the pond, joining a young man who tomorrow night is going to be challenging for another world heavyweight title across the pond.
Do you have any idea how incoherent it is what you just said? You said that these guys should be the pride of Britain, and yet in your next breath you say that they're so desperate to leave the country. Listen to yourself.
But I'm sure they will represent, you know, like Leroy Kincaide so fond of saying. I'm sure they will represent while they're out there.
Oh yeah, because they're so
they're
proud.
They're not going to forget their heritage while they're out there. They're just, you know, they're just stating a point of view, and one which I, as I've said before, I realise it has some merit.
I'd like to see a single ounce of pride that they've shown in the heritage of this country's wrestling industry in the past few months before I have any even tendency to believe or to begin to believe that they would represent this country somehow if they went to America.
I wonder if Bret Hart's here watching this match. Maybe he could send a little scouting report back. I'm sure he'd be impressed by that. We saw Dave Moralez do that to Bubblegum, and that's what crushed that rectus abdominis injury to the point that Bubblegum had to take 6 months off. And I think we might see Bubblegum get popped right here. Oh, and he would have done, but for Samuels into the ring illegally. Surely a yellow card to match the trunks. Oh,
Moralez spitting in the face of Samuels. It's another closed fist.
Come on, Roberts. That's surely it's a red. We've already seen a yellow for Samuels, so my mistake.
Has given Shah Samuels a red card.
You're getting me exasperated here, Dave.
Samuels is exasperated himself. You've seen him lose his temper on 2 different occasions in this match now. If he does that a 3rd time, he will be out of here, and given that the relative inexperience of Riley and the ring rust, as you say, of Bubblegum, he really can't afford to be out of this.
Oh, I don't believe it!
Enziguri from Bubblegum.
Talk about not seeing the wood for the trees. He felled Joel Redman like a giant redwood there.
Well, I've heard you call him the human cyborg before,
yes.
Greg. Well, I think he just got short-circuited there. That Enziguri to the back of the head as Shah Samuels is in. Look at the fire of Samuels. Is there anyone, is there a single person in the FWA with as much passion and as much pride in his country as Shah Samuels?
I'll give you that. But does he have what it takes to take the agenda down?
Well, he just took Joel Redman down. A brutal spine buster from the man from East London. Cover, there's 2, and Rees made the save. Another punch from Samuels. And no.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has disqualified Shah Samuels.
Well,
he is therefore eliminated from this match.
3 strikes and you're out. And those strikes were closed fist punches. Illegal closed fist punches. All the passion in the world doesn't get you anywhere if you don't have control. If you don't have control.
Here comes Riley. Nick Riley just taking a breath. You saw the concern etched across his face. I bet he's wondering now what he's let himself in for by agreeing to be part of this resistance team.
And now it's Riley and Bubblegum against these 3 machines.
Riley sent into the corner. Drop kick from Joel Redman. Comes Redman again. Overhead suplex. Arches the back. Could beat Riley here. Redman held onto the leg. Only got a 2 count, but now leg grapevine. Trying to force a submission from this youngster from Devon.
Iestyn, Rees and Moralez. Gilligan Gordon is desperate for them to rejoin the action. Riley, I'll say one thing, Riley's got an opportunity here. He's relatively fresh. Samuels and Bubblegum have done all the work. They've taken out Rees and also Moralez. And that phenomenal kick we saw before from Bubblegum has possibly taken something out of Redman. Riley needs to capitalise on this.
Yeah, and don't kid yourself that Riley would be incapable of beating Redman. I know he didn't beat Martin Stone recently, but he did beat RJ Singh at the Expo.
He's got two big moves, the La Magistral Cradle and the British Fly. Oh, that one as well! What on earth was that?
But do your research, Greg Lambert. There's a third big move on the part of Nick Riley, and it could be enough to secure victory against the odds for the Resistance. Riley looks like he's going up high.
Well, I tell you what, Nick Riley, he's pulling out all the stops. He's definitely making a name for himself here at the NEC.
It's Gordon! It's Gilligan Gordon! Just removing the leg of Nick Riley away from under him.
Does Gilligan Gordon look worried about what's going to happen next? Never. He never looks worried.
Redman superplex on Riley. I can't believe it. I can't believe that Nick Riley was just robbed of his chance to pin Joel Redman thanks to that snake, that absolute vulture, Gilligan Gordon.
Oh, here comes the human hate machine. Looks like he's got some of that recovery back. I don't like Nick Riley's chances right now of surviving against Moralez and Redman. Oh, straight into the breadbasket.
Yeah, baseball slide. Redman, a man of few words, but he's taking some time to taunt. Right, hang on, Bubblegum, crossbody block from Bubblegum, just risking his own health. Those injured abdominal muscles to take out Moralez and Redman.
And we have to wait and see if that's a smart move on the part of Bubblegum. We saw that crossbody against Moralez in the World Title Tournament, against Andy Simmons in the World Title Tournament.
Talk about carnage, talk about collateral damage in this war between the Resistance and the Agenda. One man sent off, the other five all down in another six-man battle.
Riley's back in the ring. Are we going to see another count out here? The count reaches 8.
Redman trying to get back in, they're up to 9.
Oh, he's just about beaten the count.
We want to see a decisive winner here, and I want it to be Nick Riley. Oh, hang on, Riley is caught. Oh, Rees with the boot to the face, but he hit Redman.
Here comes a slice bread move from Nick Riley. This kid's got so many moves in his arsenal.
He may win it here. He may win it just too. Gordon slithering into the ring again.
Nick Riley is stepping up right here in the NEC in Birmingham, where his more experienced partners have failed. They've failed him. Shah Samuels has let him down. Bubblegum has taken himself out. And Riley, it's there for him to win if he can only hit one more sliced bread.
Oh, he can't though. He's been caught by Redman. Boot to the face. And Redman, a huge German suplex. Cover from Redman. It's academic. The Agenda beat the Resistance at European Uprising.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, the team of Iestyn Rees, Dave Moralez, and Joel Redman. The Agenda.
Resistance is futile.
So you hear the theme music of the Agenda, and you just heard that voice from the World Heavyweight Champion saying resistance is futile. Well, despite the best efforts of Bubblegum, Riley and Shah Samuels tonight in the NEC, in the end, it proved to be exactly that.
And you'd have to say now, Rees and Redman, after a display like that, must be hot favourites for the British Tag Team title, especially after what happened to the leaders of the New School earlier this evening. Rees and Redman need to win a semi-final and then a final to bring some more gold to the Agenda.
Well, what worries me is not just that these guys are now, as you say, the absolute favourites to plough through the competition in the Tag Team title tournament, but increasingly the Agenda look like they're going to plough through the entire Resistance, the entire FWA, taking all the gold and possibly across the ocean with them to America. The Agenda has a plan, and everything is going according to that plan so far today. Of course, Greg, it could all come crashing down in just a few minutes' time if Leroy Kincaide, the leader of the Resistance, can do it. If he can win that rematch and become World Heavyweight Champion. Joel Redman just walking past. tell you, Redman is a bully whenever he walks past. Looking like he's going to come over here. I don't know if he thinks I'm going to be scared of him. Anyway, that's beside the point here. The point is, as I was saying, Greg, you've gone very quiet, by the way.
It's futile.
Thinking about the consequences, I assume it is all on the line this afternoon. The World Heavyweight Championship and possibly the future of British wrestling with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the FWA would like to induct one of the huge stars of British professional wrestling, known all over the world, into the first ever British Wrestling Hall of Fame, brought to you by the Daily Star and the British Wrestling Council. To present the award, I would like to introduce you to a former FWA Tag Team Champion, a former contender to the heavyweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Andy Simmons.
Well, that's unexpected. Andy Simmons, a finalist in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament that finished earlier this year, just moments away, apparently, from becoming the champion. How different history might have been if he'd won that match.
It's the all-time great. We've not seen him. We've not seen the all-time great Andy Simmons since he lost that world title tournament final to Martin Stone. But now he's back. And what better stage? What better stage than European Uprising? What better stage than the NEC in Birmingham? For the all-time great!
Well, there he is, Andy Simmons. Trained by the FWA at the old FWA Academy in Portsmouth. A large part of the old FWA, a big part of its 11-year history.
Wow, you couldn't have the biggest show of the FWA calendar year without the all-time great. Can we try that again? You couldn't have the biggest show of the FWA calendar year without the all-time great. Thank you. Now, I haven't been seen in the FWA for nearly a year, but luckily for all of you, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to actually talk about one of the biggest honours that's ever been bestowed upon me and the FWA, because today I'm here to award an award to a very good friend of mine. This award here has been sponsored by the British Wrestling Council, the British Wrestling Hall of Fame, and the national newspaper, the Daily Star. Now, this guy, he's been a friend of mine for 10 years. We've seen the original FWA rise, and we've seen it fall. And with your help, we're going to see it rise 10 times more than it ever did before. We right? So, it's my honour to induct Jonny Storm today with the outstanding contribution. So, Jonny Storm, we can have you out here right now, mate.
As well, as far as we know, he doesn't know who his opponent's going to be.
Face to face, man to man, in front of all these people at the NEC, that without you, I wouldn't be stood here today. And I think everyone here would agree with me, Jonny, you really deserve this award more than anyone else who's been and gone in British wrestling. So, Jonny, shake my hand, my pal. Take this award and take a bow.
Yo, I just want to say, you know, guys, I've been doing this for a long time now, but I'm still only 21 years old. And I'm sure if you guys don't mind, I wouldn't mind doing it for another few years. What do you reckon? This award's for you guys as well, because I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, FWA. Thank you, Andy. And I appreciate it, and we'll see you many, many more times to come. Thank you.
No, I just do respect the contribution of Jonny Storm to British wrestling. But I have to wonder, though, you know, he's made that reputation as the Wonder Kid. They're chanting Wonder Kid now. Will they be chanting it by the end of the day? Because I know who his opponent is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is the ladder match. There is only one rule. The winner of the match will be the man to get the briefcase. That person will be declared the winner and the Wonder Kids of the FWA. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first of all in the ring at this time, from Essex, weighing in at 12.5 stone, he is an international superstar. He is the one and the only and the Wonder Kid, Jonny Storm!
But for how much longer? He's got a smile on his face as receiving an award for outstanding contribution, but his future, his entire legacy, hangs above the ring.
Introducing
Hang on just a moment. Was it all a ruse? Has the Rockstar made a false announcement to throw Jonny Storm off the scent? To affect his preparation?
Well, that's certainly Rockstar Spud's music and his entourage. There's that ridiculous guitarist. Rockstar Spud is back in the building. Oh, and he's got a microphone.
Tommy used to work on the docks. Union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough.
It's the Rockstars.
Gina works at
Rockstar co-host at FWA, Axel Rage.
Working for her man. She brings home her bag for love.
Certainly Axel Rage has performed with Rockstar Spud many times. He's the winner of the 2010 Scurll Scholarship, presented by the British Wrestling Council.
It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a lot more love. And you, everybody.
Well, Rockstar Spud is standing atop the ladder, but not in the circumstances you've got to believe he would have wanted to be here at the Birmingham NEC.
ladies and gentlemen, chosen by Rockstar Spud to replace him here in this contest, from Blackpool, winning at 15 stone. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is the first person to be awarded the first Scurll Scholarship by the British Wrestling Council. He is now known as Axel Rage.
What an opportunity for my boy Axel Rage from the XWA. A chance to become the new Wonder Kid.
Well, here's an opportunity that Axel Rage can't have possibly thought he was going to get. As you see some continued bad feeling, that year-long feud again between Spud and Storm just boiling over.
Some Axel Rage here from the Rockstar because he can't compete. What's he doing coming over here?
Well, now what's going on? Hang on, Rockstar Spud coming over to commentate, but
fair enough. I've got some business to attend to anyway. You want to sit down, Spud, you want to commentate, you commentate.
Hang on, just everyone hold the phone here.
I've got something to do. Let him do it.
Well, Greg Lambert is leaving. But more than that, while Rockstar Spud seems to be joining me on commentary here, Nathan Cruz is out here. Nathan Cruz.
Who's Nathan Cruz?
That guy. The guy in the red feather boa. The man who earlier this year beat British wrestling legend Alex Shane and stole his name, the Show Stealer.
Well, it's pretty blatant these people in Birmingham don't like him. There's something about him I don't like as well. Blonde hair, cocky, brash attitude. Something I don't like about him, Bradshaw. Why does everybody want to jump on the Rockstar Spud's moment? What's this? It's everybody trying to take my spot all the time, isn't it? Yada da da da.
Well, it's a moment that you've had to forfeit. We thought Axel Rage was taking your place. He was obviously your hand-picked
Axel
replacement.
Rage is my hand-picked replacement.
Johnny.
What's he saying?
Now earlier tonight, when I was awarded 2010's Breakout Star of the Year,
it's debatable.
I made a claim that I was sick and tired of being overlooked by the FWA, and that any opportunity that I saw fit, that I deserved, I was going to take with both hands.
See that? See the rising out of the audience.
You to sit there and say such things like that to me. You're nothing, pal. You're absolutely nothing. Keep your mouth shut whilst I'm talking. Goes for the rest of you as well, okay?
Yeah. Who are you?
Shut up!
Who is this kid, Bradshaw?
You see, tonight, Johnny, the opportunity I see fit is to take another British wrestling legend to my name. You see, I've already defeated Alex Shane to become the show stealer. And so I think that by the end of this ladder match tonight, I should have another name imprinted above this gorgeous ass here, and that is the Wonder Kid. So, hey, then, well, listen here, Axel, listen here, Johnny. My challenge to you two is, how about we make this a three-way ladder match for the rights to the Wonder Kid name?
Oh, I see where he's coming from. A lot of spunk this kid's got. Oh, reminds me of someone I know. How about you, Bradshaw?
I'm just wondering where he's going to have room on his trunks to write Show Stealer and Wonder Kid.
Well,
it's
as he pointed out, it may be a fantastic ass,
Okay,
but it's also a fat ass.
You want it, that's fine, okay. And speaking of opportunities, while you're out here, Andy, how about you come out of retirement another time soon, and I'm sure I could make room on this gear somewhere for the all-time great. I'm sure I could, pal. Get out of here now, you has-been.
I like that. I like that. I think he's a jackass, but I like what he just said.
Well, Simmons has a bit of a history of not showing a lot of respect to opponents.
Any friend of Johnny Storm's, as far as I'm concerned, is a big, lying dickhead.
You watch your language a little bit.
Bradshaw, I'm the rock star Spud. I can say what I want. So you can't tell me what to do.
Clearly, Nathan Cruz thinks he can say what he wants as well. Just an incredible show of disrespect to Andy Simmons.
You know what I've got to admire? I've got to admire Axel Rage, and I've got to admire Nathan Cruz. They're showing a lot of spunk here, a lot of determination. They know what they want, and they're taking it.
Well, this isn't a situation we ever dreamed we would be in. I'm not sure either of these guys thought this opportunity would come their way. Thinking as we did when we all woke up this morning, it was going to be Storm versus Spud for the Wonder Kid name. Instead, Axel Rage and Nathan Cruz with the opportunity of their young careers.
And look at Johnny Storm, like acting all like, oh, I'm all innocent, I'm all sweet. Johnny broke my neck, okay?
Getting underway here, Storm and Cruz starting this out. Imagine what it would mean if Nathan Cruz could beat Alex Shane and Johnny Storm, two just real icons of the British scene in the same year. That really would be a breakout year. As he said, he was the breakout star of 2010, that award given to him earlier by the British Wrestling Council. Axel Rage, Axel Rage, the winner of the Scurll Scholarship, so these two really do have legitimate claims to being the future of this industry.
Get the ladder, Rage, get the ladder! Axel Rage is going to win this ladder match, and he's going to hand the Wonder Kid name to me. I don't want to see these people get shortchanged, and as far as I'm concerned, the fact that Johnny Storm is even in British wrestling means that the British wrestling fans are shortchanged. And Axel Rage, he's going to give people their money's worth here tonight by handing Rockstar Spud the Wonder Kid name.
Rage and Cruz wouldn't be two people I would expect to naturally get on, but I think it may be pretty good smarts on their part to take it to the veteran, double team him in the early part of the match.
Come on, hurt him.
But I've got to ask, I know you're supporting Axel Rage here, but there must be a part of you you know, even now you've had some time to digest the news, that is absolutely gutted that you're watching someone else compete for that name against Jonny Storm today.
Bradshaw, I'm a performer. I turned up today and I wanted to wrestle. You see, you can say a lot of things about the Rockstar Spud, but no one can deny my drive, determination, heart, and the will to perform. And if someone has to take my place, that's because of Jonny Storm. Nobody else. Jonny Storm. Oh, come on, Axel Rage, get up.
Well, they say all glory is fleeting, and the opportunity may only come once to be the Wonder Kid. It may just have passed you by, Spud. It may be coming instead to Rage or Cruz here.
No. Come on, Axel Rage, come on. Cruz, you do something while you're at it. Come on. Them ladders are dangerous.
Double baseball slide, they miss, and Storm goes into reverse gear to take out Cruz and Rage.
Will somebody stop Jonny Storm? I can't believe these people cheer him.
Well, these two rookies are out on their feet on the outside, and Storm doing? I thought Storm may have gone to set up the ladder to try and claim that briefcase and to retain his nickname, that moniker he's had for a decade and a half.
He's an old man. Why is he a kid all of a sudden? Oh,
and
no!
The moonsault off the ladder! How many old men do you know who can do that?
Shut up, Bradshaw.
Cruz sends Storm into the corner, no one home when the show stealer gets there.
Oh, this Nathan Cruz is an idiot. Come on, Axel Rage!
Well, if he's an idiot, fortunately, he may in a moment be unable to have children. Maybe good for the gene pool.
Oh, this could be bad.
A drop kick from Jonny Storm.
Did you feel that? I felt that. Did you feel that? I felt that, Bradshaw. And that's because mine's bigger than yours.
Unnecessary.
What, would you call it a low blow? Yes! Yes! Now get the case! Get the case, Axel Rage!
Rage certainly showing his pedigree here. He's really hanging in there, going blow for blow with Jonny Storm.
Break his neck!
Again, Cruz and Rage trying to combine their efforts to take out the Wonder Kid.
Yes! Yes! Now get the briefcase.
I wonder what it would do to Jonny Storm if he did lose this match. He has been, in terms of his performances, not just a name, he has been the Wonder Kid of British wrestling. But
then I'm going to take all his merchandise, as I told you. I'm going to take his merchandise, put it in a bin, and piss in it.
It may not be yours to do that with.
It's going to be mine. It's going to be mine.
So what are you saying? You want Storm to win this so you can take the name?
No, I want Axel Rage to win this so he can hand me the name. Oh, God.
Cruz was just a few inches away from winning it himself.
Well, we knew this was going to happen. Oh, that...
Rage caught him red-handed. Now these two are having a real argument. Well, it's every man for himself. I don't know what they're arguing about. Slap across the face.
Yes! See, I told you there was something about Nathan Cruz I didn't like.
Hang on, though. Storm is on the top rope. Jonny Storm drop kick into the ladder, and the ladder spun round. I think it hit Cruz in the head. It's a windmill effect.
Be careful. Oh!
Rage's skull just trapped between two of the rungs of that ladder. Yeah, I hope we got more than one ladder, because this ladder is taking an absolute beating. I'm not sure it's going to be able to be set up straight when someone gets to the point where they can climb it.
The thing is with Jonny Storm, he's a veteran. He does have the veteran's advantage over these pair of young guys. Oh, just somebody stop him.
Take some deep breaths, would you?
Shut up! Oh, somebody shut that tart up. I don't care if one old man's left their car up parked on a double yellow. Stop him!
The PA system here in the NEC, I think probably telling people to get over here and see what's unfolding at European Uprising, because, good God, this is engrossing stuff. One of our events earlier in the year, or early in 2009, was Carpe Diem, means seize the day, and what an opportunity this is for either Nathan Cruz or Axel Rage to do just that. A once-in-a-career opportunity that's been handed to them at a moment's notice.
Oh dear! Oh!
Backdrop from Cruz.
I don't think you can understand, if you're not a professional wrestler, how hard that is, Bradshaw. That ladder is hard as nails. It hurts. Anytime you land on that ladder, it hurts. Anytime you fall off that ladder, it hurts. A ladder match hurts. It takes years off your career. I don't think these young lads appreciate it right now. They've just got the eye of the tiger right now.
I think maybe Rage does. I heard a real cry of anguish after he landed. Rage maybe taken more of a beating than anyone else so far in this match.
Rage, get up!
Cruz is trying to pin Rage down using his own body weight and the weight of the ladder.
Where's Johnny Storm?
Storm's on the apron.
Oh!
Cruz taken down. Rage was able to power his way out.
That could have been dangerous.
Certainly an innovative idea from Cruz, but didn't work.
I think Cruz landed on his throat on the top rope. There could be injuries. See, he's going after the throat. Axel Rage is a smart wrestler.
Rage looking him up, big snap suplex.
This is what he calls his 3-star combo.
Holding on. Well, there's the second star. And now what, he's switched that into a rear waist lock.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Storm!
Oh!
German suplex into from a sunset flip by Storm.
Taking advantage of the inexperience of Axel Rage and Nathan Cruz. This wouldn't have happened if I was in there, Bradshaw. It wouldn't have happened at all.
I mean, before you knew that you were going to be excluded from this match, you must have developed some kind of strategy. What do you have to do to beat Johnny Storm in a ladder match? He's an experienced competitor in this kind of environment.
It's very simple. The key word in a ladder, it's a ladder match. Use a ladder to your advantage. Climb the ladder. Get the prize. That was my strategy.
Your strategy was to climb the ladder.
And get the prize. Oh! I hate when he does that.
Arm drag from the top from Storm. Been a big part of his arsenal for many years.
Oh!
Cruz just taking the veteran by surprise.
A diamond cutter type maneuver there.
Well, Cruz trying to live up to that name of the show stealer, that name he won in June of this year. We'll talk about a way to steal the show if he could come into a ladder match he's not even supposed to have competed in. Goaded the two scheduled opponents to let him into the match, and then he goes on to win it. Imagine what that will do to his career.
That. Shut up, Bradshaw. Come on, Axel Rage. See, he's got it. I told you, he's got it. He's going to win. He's going to win. He's going to get it. He's going to win. He's going to win.
I guess Rage is something of a protege of yours,
yes.
Right? He's performed in your band on many occasions.
Up in the XWA, Axel Rage is indeed one of my boys.
He just got his fingers.
He's just got his fingers on it. Now grab it, get it down, get it down, get it down, get it down. Oh no.
He's the first person to touch the briefcase during the course of the match.
Watch your leg. Oh dear, oh dear. Stop Johnny Storm! Stop Johnny Storm!
Rage's leg is trapped here.
Oh dear.
What's Storm doing?
What is he doing? No. No.
Storm is saying he's going to grab it.
No.
He's asking the crowd, should he grab the briefcase or do more damage to Rage?
No.
And I think they want him to do more damage. Storm, you can retain your title right here, retain that name, but instead, a double-footed stomp.
Oh my God, he's dead.
Was that confidence or stupidity on the part of Johnny Storm? He had the chance to win and to retain his name right there.
Somebody, this isn't right. No.
Well, Axel Rage may have been taken out of commission for the rest of the match. It may be down now to Cruz and Storm.
Come on, Rage, get up, please. Please get up.
Here, these two are just...
Can't you do something, Bradshaw? Just somebody do something.
I'm staying right here. I don't want any part of that.
I'm staying right here as well.
Oh! Oh, Cruz was going to try and take out Storm. He didn't manage to do it. And now Storm again grabbing at that briefcase.
No!
And Johnny Storm retains the Wonder Kid name at European Uprising.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the ladder match and still the Wonder Kid, Johnny Storm. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for a match that is over 1 year in the making. On one side, the agenda. On the other side, the resistance. On one side, the people who are using FWA and British wrestling as a stepping stone to go elsewhere. On the other side, the people who believe in the revolution that is the FWA. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the main event of FWA European Uprising! Introducing first, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, this man, this very special guest today, will hand the title belt to whomever is the champion following this contest. He's been featured in magazines, in national newspapers and television. You may know him as the Queen's Footman. He is David DeVille. He is also the apprentice of our special guest referee, FWA's head of content, a former British heavyweight champion, Alex Shane.
Well, I didn't know that David DeVille was going to be here. DeVille, a rising star on the British Wrestling Council training ranks, and recently, as Stevie Aaron just said, made into became the apprentice of Alex Shane. Now, Shane wasn't going to be involved in any way in this main event until what happened to him, that brutal assault at the hands of the agenda at the Expo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the competitors.
You know what time it is, right? It's your boy, King Done it like this, way back when or something like that, right? And it goes, it's the King I'm rolling in the VI. Come on, bring it back.
When he was a small boy, Leroy Kincaide started wrestling training with one dream: to become the heavyweight champion of the world. But little did he know that to do that, in the process, he would become the leader of a movement that would be out there to rid British wrestling of a malignant force. Tonight may be his very last chance, Greg, to stop this agenda before it spreads beyond any control.
Well, assuming that my microphone is still working following the temper tantrum criminal damage inflicted upon it by the rock star, you're right. This is Leroy Kincaide's last chance.
I wonder if that's ominous, a handshake between Leroy Kincaide and Alex Shane. Shane obviously very much pro the resistance. You saw the beating he did suffer from the agenda. That's, as I say, the reason that he wants to make sure this match goes down in the right way, as he put it. Shane collapsing.
It's not fair though, is it, Dave? The odds are definitely stacked.
Resistance.
Well, you know, until Shane was interjected into this as the referee, the odds were stacked against Leroy. Presumably the whole agenda is going to accompany Martin Stone. Here he is. And here they are. So as I just described it, for the past year, Martin Stone and this agenda throughout 2010 have been a malignant cancer that has been eating away at the soul of British wrestling. And this afternoon, in the main event of the biggest show of the year, we may find out once and for all if that cancer is going to be terminal.
There have been a list of demands which have been given by the agenda leader Martin Stone in order for this match to happen today. It very nearly didn't happen. The show
The four of us have an agenda.
Following the viciousness of the beatdown to Alex Shane just a few weeks ago, the organisers here at the Birmingham Expo were on the verge of cancelling this entire show. But it is going to happen.
And you know, Greg, does that not strike you as somewhat suspicious as well? You've got Martin Stone, who's been frankly trying to dodge Leroy Kincaide for several months, and then an attack on Alex Shane, orchestrated by Stone, almost brings European Uprising crashing down so he wouldn't have to defend the belt again. Almost as if it's pre-planned.
Well, you would have us believe, Dave, that the actions of the agenda towards Alex Shane and also towards Doug Williams at Hope and Glory were an attempt to silence this much bigger agenda from coming out, this supposed conspiracy which Doug Williams, via his friend in the media, Patrick Lennon, attempted to unveil at Hope and Glory, to much derision from the brain-dead proletariat.
Well, our guest referee Alex Shane has demanded that the other members of the agenda head backstage. They're doing in their own sweet time.
It's still not exactly fair, though, is it, Dave?
Tell you the tension here between Martin Stone and Leroy Kincaide could almost be cut with a knife. Again, another cliche, but it is another cliche that's very, very appropriate here. A hush falling upon this crowd as we get ready to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is a singles bout set for one fall, and it is for your FWA Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, the challenger from Maidstone, Kent, standing at 5'10", weighing in at 15.5 stone. He is the leader of the Resistance and the #1 contender to the FWA World Heavyweight Championship. This is Leroy Kincaide. And his opponent, he hails from the city of London, stands at 6 foot and weighs in at 15 stone. This is the man who started the agenda. He is also the current reigning and defending FWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Governor, Martin Stone.
Well, on February the 13th of this year, Martin Stone became the first World Heavyweight Champion in FWA history. A month later, he defended it against Leroy Kincaide, and that was the night when the agenda was formed. Ever since then, for 8 months, 8 long months, Leroy Kincaide has been chasing after the rematch he deserves, and tonight, whatever the stipulations, he finally gets that chance. What happens in the next few minutes will come to define FWA history.
Well, there's no doubt about it that Leroy Kincaide deserves this shot at the World Heavyweight title. The match I was talking about earlier, when he and Doug Williams, in the absence of the injured Martin Stone, they took on Redman and Moralez, and Leroy pinned the agenda with the spear. He's beaten Martin Stone before. We know that. with a small package. He knows he can beat Martin Stone. Can he beat him on the biggest stage of them all?
Well, he's off to a good start. Big clothesline took Stone down in the early part of the match. And now Kincaide going early to the ropes, drops the elbow across the jaw of the World Heavyweight Champion, goes for the early pin and gets 2.
Too early to beat a wrestler of Stone's caliber. A man who Alex Shane has actually referred to, despite the antipathy between the two men, as the best wrestler in the world today.
Kincaide over the top rope. Shows you just how willing this man is to take a risk. As you said, Greg, he has been described as the best wrestler in the world, and according to rumour, he may be off to compete for the biggest wrestling company in the world next year. Although Martin Stone, as ever, keeping his cards very close to his chest. We don't know what's true and what's not, and that goes for this whole agenda, not just Stone.
I just heard Alex Shane, as he was counting there, the special guest referee, I just heard him say, "Come on, Leroy."
Can you blame him? Can you blame him, given what the agenda have put the FWA through? The FWA is Alex Shane's baby. In some ways, it's his brainchild. He's the man who lifted it to those successes and helped it pioneer, reinvent the British wrestling industry. And Stone and these other henchmen from the agenda just demolishing him at the Expo a few weeks ago.
Speaking of his henchmen, you notice that what Stevie Aaron said before, Alex Shane coming out here with his new apprentice, trainee professional wrestler, and the footman to Her Majesty the Queen, David DeVille. He sat over there with Stevie Aaron and Richard Parker. Our ring announcer and timekeeper, David DeVille.
Talk about a guest timekeeper, a man who actually lives inside Buckingham Palace.
That's right.
I'm about to show you how real men
with a hotline to the great and the good.
And getting a close-up view of this World Heavyweight title match as well at the moment, as the table just dismantled.
We've already seen Rockstar Spud dismantle my chair, the headphones. I hope they're not going to come over here, Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leroy Kincaide has been given a yellow card.
It's breaking down here. The sheer disdain between these two men is obvious to see. And perhaps in this situation, you do need a strong referee.
You know, in some ways, Leroy Kincaide isn't necessarily a natural leader. He's a man who keeps himself to himself backstage, but he's found himself thrust into this position by fate in some ways. He just seems to have taken to this role of leading the resistance. And he may be about to lead the resistance to the World Heavyweight Championship. Drop Stone on his back. It's 2.
But Martin Stone is a magnificently conditioned athlete, if nothing else. Won that world title tournament, defeating Andy Simmons, defeating Johnny Moss, defeating everybody in front of him, and he's held that belt now for almost a year because of clotheslines, because of moves like that.
Referee Alex Shane checking on Leroy. And, you know, I think it's actually made this match fairer having Shane out here, because without someone like that, you can't possibly try and stop the agenda from coming out here. It needs a man with the savvy of Alex Shane, with the championship match experience to keep these two in check. Another 2 count for Stone.
All the things that Alex Shane has said, all the things that Alex Shane has done. Does that make him the ideal man for this situation? You've seen some of the videos, Dave. You've seen them on the Grapple Group website. You've seen them on FWAUK.com. Alex Shane has had strong words.
Well, in many of those cases, I was the man interviewing him. I saw it, you know, firsthand. This is a man with a real deep passion. It is his life story, is the story of British wrestling. No wonder he wants to be out here on this huge occasion to make sure that British wrestling doesn't lose its soul to this man, Martin Stone. Now, what struck me was our ring announcer, Stevie Aaron, saying that Stone was the man who started the agenda in March of this year. That is true, but at whose advice? On whose orders? Is Stone just playing mind games? Does it go no further? Or is there someone else? Is there something much, much higher, much, much more sinister involved?
You and Patrick Lennon and Doug Williams, you would all have us believe that there are other wrestling companies involved. We've seen Brutus Magnus on FWA shows. We've seen Drew McDonald, European scout for the world's biggest wrestling company, on FWA shows. Patrick Lennon and Doug Williams and yourself would believe that there are even more sinister forces at work here.
Well, he's a sinister force and he's a powerful one as well. You're seeing that leg drop and then the chop across the throat of Leroy Kincaide from Stone. Now, that rear chin lock, he really is just trying to wear down the challenger. Leroy Kincaide's offense is an explosive, powerful offense, and if he can't get the air into his lungs, he is effectively neutralized.
Well, if this is indeed Alex Shane's life, indeed Leroy Kincaide's life, we need to see the spirit of the revolution that Leroy Kincaide is so fond of talking about, the revolution here in British wrestling, the resistance that is standing up to these people who want to use the British wrestling scene as a stepping stone. I've said it before, on occasions Leroy Kincaide has stepped up to the plate, on occasions he hasn't. Today he needs to step up right now, right at this very moment. This is his moment here in the NEC in Birmingham. You know, is to prove that resistance is indeed not futile.
You know, when I was interviewing Shane a couple of weeks ago, he almost got teary-eyed as he was talking about those iconic moments in FWA history, like when Jody Fleisch hit the moonsault off the balcony at the first British Uprising.
So, Martin Stone, Leroy Kincaide and I were all in the crowd that day. I know exactly what you're talking about. Martin Stone and Leroy Kincaide as young up-and-coming wrestlers who then went on to become part of Alex Shane's security detail in the previous incarnation of the FWA. The three men in the ring have been together in paths through British wrestling history, and those paths have intertwined and separated and come back together here on November the 20th, 2010 in the NEC in Birmingham.
Well, will that be a date that, as Alex Shane predicted just a couple of weeks ago, will be the moment for another iconic day in FWA history? That's what he's predicting if Leroy Kincaide can get the pin here and raise that world title belt above his head.
We need to see a revolution from Leroy. We need to see a revelation from Leroy.
We need to see something from one of these two in the near future, because referee was up to 9, but Kincaide nips up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where Kincaide gets his energy from. He is one intense competitor. You talked about the passion of Shah Samuels. Leroy Kincaide has passion.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and Martin Stone has a yellow card.
Has given Martin Stone a yellow card.
Do you think Alex Shane enjoyed that there, Dave?
Well, if you're trying to imply in some way that Shane is biased towards Leroy and wants Kincaide to win the world title, then that wouldn't help him, because the belt can't change hands on a disqualification. So I think you really need to work on your own conspiracy theory. Oh, it's a spiral tap attempt from Kincaide, but he missed. Cover by Stone. Come on, Leroy. Kick out. Kick out. Yes.
Oh, that was close.
Bet it all on landing that spiral tap, and when he missed, the dream was nearly over. Now, it's taken enough to get Martin Stone to actually show up to bring the world title belt with him. When will the Resistance get any better chance than today to wrench that title belt out of the hands of the Agenda? That is the magnitude of this opportunity for British wrestling and for the Resistance.
My heart is pounding in my chest, Dave. I've got goosebumps all over my body. What a moment! What a moment in history!
Oh, it's a closed fist. Alex Shane giving a second card.
The referee has given Martin Stone a red card for punching.
Well, Stone got a red card and he just knocked that card out of Shane's hand. Now look at this.
Stone doesn't care if he gets disqualified. He retains the belt. He's goading Alex Shane. He's saying, Alex Shane, remember what the agenda did to you at the MCM Expo. We bloodied you. We put you in hospital. We concussed you. It is time for you to exact retribution. It is time. It is time.
Oh, he's fooled him. He's fooled him. Shane sent to the outside. Shane was trying to fight every urge in his body to punch Martin Stone in the face. Oh, Kincaide grabs Stone, a fall-away slam, incredible power from the challenger for the World Heavyweight Championship. Shane has been taken out, but Kincaide is on the top rope, looking out at the NEC and delivering a spinal tap.
He connected, he drove his shoulder into the heart of the leader of the agenda. But where is Alex Shane? David DeVille is going over to check on...
New ref, it's 2, referee, no! Leroy Kincaide should be the heavyweight champion of the world. God, the tension in here is unreal.
My hand is shaking.
I can see.
My black gloved hand is shaking, Bradshaw.
People are almost hypnotised by this.
The tension. Who is going to take control? Who is going to take control of the title?
I went for the spear, but instead Stone smashing Kincaide in the temple. Well, David DeVille is looking at his mentor, Alex Shane, and I think he's calling for help. He says Shane is hurt. Stone, meanwhile, Stone's hit the new referee. I didn't see that. Spear from Kincaide. Kincaide's got this one for a second time.
It's chaos. We need some order out here. It's
Shane's back. Shane is back.
We need order.
And 2. The spear was not enough. The delay was long enough for Stone to kick out.
I thought for 1 minute that Martin Stone's time was almost over. But no.
You hear that from Shane.
Shane's back in the ring. Shane is recovering from his shoulder injury.
And Leroy Kincaide is setting up a spear that will do exactly what Shane just said and finish Martin Stone. We are just moments away from the iconic moment that we've been promised here at European Uprising. Kincaide. What? What? Alex Shane just... Alex Shane? He just booted Leroy Kincaide in the head. What is going on? Shane demanding a referee come out here. Stone's got Kincaide up on London Bridge. What just happened?
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, and still FWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, the Governor, Martin Stone.
Martin Stone pins Leroy Kincaide. Thanks to Alex Shane. What is going on? You've gone very quiet. Yes, I want to know what's going on. What's come over you now? Shane is leading the agenda in stomping Kincaide.
and the whole of the wrestling world take heed. The great work of the ages is about to be revealed.
What are you talking about? Greg Lambert is leaving his position here next to me at the commentary table. And Alex Shane leads the agenda in lifting those arms up. 2 arms. Got a pyramid sign. Come over, Greg Lambert. Oh, here comes Charles Samuels. Samuels is trying to take it to the agenda. Samuels is furious at Alex Shane. Come the rest of the resistance.
I'm glad you're here, because right now, on the edge of your lips, is the how, the why, and the what. Will cameraman do your job and get that on me? Because the only thing you need to worry about is that the how is because you were waiting for a resistance from Robbie Brookside and the old schoolers that weren't gonna come. It was a swerve. You were the ones you were waiting for, and you failed. The how, as we established, the why is far too complex for you to get your brains around. But the what is what is important. Alex Shane is no more, and the Ascension is the head of this faction. Call it the agenda. Call it the authority. But right here tonight in the NEC, it will reveal itself for what it truly is. And that is the infiltration of professional wrestling by the Illuminati. Let me tell you, just before I beat Raven, he told me that sometimes in life we make our own choices. Sometimes the choice is made for us, and sometimes, like tonight, there is no choice. You are witnessing the great work of the ages in its final stages. The Ascension has spoken. 13! 13!
I am absolutely aghast at what we have just seen here. And let there be no more doubt. Martin Stone isn't even in the ring anymore. He won the match thanks to Alex Shane, then handed the belt to the Ascension. And not only that, but as Shane spoke, standing by his side nodding was a man who is a footman for Her Majesty the Queen. Well, he called it the agenda, the authority, the Illuminati, call it what you will, but something has become very, very clear on a day that did indeed become historic for the FW.
The four of us have an agenda.
It is a day that is indeed historic for the FWA, because it is a day that has proven beyond all doubt that this agenda goes far beyond wrestling and far beyond anyone ever imagined in their wildest dreams.
That's got to be a suspension right there.
Goes a lot higher than you will ever realise. So I came here to start a revolution.